Well, hi. Did you know that today 9 out of 10 startups fail, and 40% of the reason behind that is not having the right product market fit? Well, it is common to conceive a great idea, work on it by investing a lot of time, money, and resources, and then realizing that the market never really needed your product in the first place. Well, successful entrepreneurs start their journey by first identifying the niche in the market and take a lot of customer feedbacks before actually launching a fully functional product. Entrepreneurs who believe this idea build products that their customers would love to use and be ready to pay as well. Well, for this to be effective, it's important for startups to learn and evolve based on customer feedbacks. Since product market fit is so crucial to startup success, we wanted to dig deeper to find ways as to how to achieve product market fit and most importantly, measure them. Well, I'm Ashwini and welcome to Ampliz Buzz. In this video, we will be talking a lot about product market fit. In case you haven't subscribed to Ampliz Buzz series, please do so, for you will find a comprehensive list of information all about the tools, techniques, and terminologies in the startup world. Watch out for this space for some fun and exciting stuff coming up every week. Let's get buzzing. Let's now answer the most obvious question: what is product market fit, or PMF? Well, there are quite a few repetitive and overlapping definitions for this term. Let's dig into each one of them to get a holistic understanding. Let's start off with Mr. Mark Andreessen's. Well, Mark in his post, "The Only Thing That Matters," defined product market fit as you have achieved product market fit when you are in a good market with a product that can actually satisfy that market. Well, he relates product market fit with a feeling. He says you've achieved product market fit when certain things happen in your organization. First, your sales cycle are super high. People are eagerly waiting for the launch of your product and are ready to grab them as soon as it's launched in the market. Third, the hiring is above the roof, where you hire more and more sales and marketing folks in your team. And most importantly, people are extremely happy about your product and talking about it with their peers. Well, again, if all of these circumstances fail, then Mark says then you have not actually achieved product market fit. Josh Porter, in his post, the Principles of Product Design, gives a very simple definition of PMF. He says you have achieved PMF when people or the customers actually sell the product for you. Trent Griffin, in his blog post for Andreessen Horowitz, gives a very similar definition to what Josh says. He says you have achieved product market fit when your product usage is exponentially growing with no marketing costs and just by word of mouth. Well, he also believes that product market fit is a continuous and an iterative process. However, the original idea of product market fit was actually developed and first used by Andy Ratcliffe, who's now the CEO and the co-founder of Benchmark Capital and Wealthfront. When Andy talks about product market fit, he describes in two viewpoints. First, value hypothesis, and second, growth hypothesis. Well, what is this value hypothesis? Well, it is an attempt to articulate the key assumption that underlines why a customer is likely to use your product. Factors like pricing, the business model, and the product functionalities needs to be taken into consideration here, which helps to answer the three most important questions: the what, the who, and the how. Well, what talks about the product that you're going to build. Who is the audience who are desperate to use your product. And finally, the how, the business model that you're going to use in order to deliver the product. But according to Andy, identifying a compelling value hypothesis is the key to product market fit. Let's talk more about growth hypothesis. Well, the growth hypothesis typically talks about the best practices that you're going to put forward in order to scale the number of customers who are attracted to your product. One of the common mistakes what entrepreneurs make today is trying and testing out growth hypothesis before value hypothesis, and sometimes even before getting their MVP out. Now, what exactly is this MVP? Well, we will be discussing more about MVP in our upcoming topic. One point that Ratcliffe mentions, and something that we cannot disagree with, is the fact that world's best startups don't start off with growth hypothesis, at least in their earlier days. Growth hypothesis is conceived over a period of time based on the value that you're going to provide, coupled with the pain points that the customer has and the fact as to how you're going to approach to that problem. Again, it's crucial for startups to first work on the value hypothesis and then look at the growth hypothesis. Well, now that we have a fair understanding of what exactly is product market fit, let's dig deeper and understand some of the common misconceptions that people generally have about product market fit. Well, I have listed about 4 misconceptions people have about PMF. Let's discuss in deeper. Well, first one, PMF is a discrete Big Bang event. Second, it's obvious when you have achieved PMF. Third, once you've achieved product market fit, you can't lose it. And fourth, once you've achieved product market fit, you don't have to sweat out the competition. Well, let's bust out every myth. The first one, product market fit is not a destination. It's a continuous and an iterative process. Secondly, there are a lot of startups who definitely can't tell if they have actually achieved product market fit because there are no standard metrics to define them. Third most important point is, see, every day your companies change, the competitions change, and the requirements of what they expect out of your products changes. So it's actually impossible to say that you can hold on to your product market fit for a consistently longer period of time. The struggle just doesn't end there. Constant adaptation is the key. Let's now answer the most big and important question. How do we achieve product market fit? To cut the big story short, there is no conventional or traditional approach to product market fit. It can take almost anything. It can probably changing your teams, changing the market, or sometimes even rewriting the entire product code. Whatever is possible. But when you get down right to it, you can just ignore almost everything else. Having said that, Dan Olson, a project management expert, comes up with a 5-step process called the lean product process that companies normally use to achieve product market fit. Let's talk more about this. Well, the first step to lean product process is identify your target customer. So in order to identify a target customer, it's recommended to do a thorough marketing research and most importantly, customer segmentation, because it's crucial to segment your customers and then cater to their needs specifically. Start off with a rough hypothesis and then you can work your way out from there. The second important step in the lean product process is understanding the big customer needs. Well, in order to help you out in this process, just do one thing. Divide it into two parts. One, the problem space. Second, the solution space. Well, problem space typically talks about the customer needs, their pain points, and all of that you're going to solve. Second, the solution space. Well, this is how you're going to implement all of the requirements that your customer has for you. Most importantly, this can serve as a great market opportunity. The third important step in this process is to identify what exactly is your value proposition. Now, when we're talking about value proposition, it's a difficult task for startups to understand that. Well, Dan advises to use a Kano model, the link of which is attached in the description. Well, it's just a simple survey that you have to ask yourself before actually launching your product. And two most important questions is, first, what benefit are you trying to provide to your customers? Second, how different are you from your competitors? Well, it is important to first analyze who exactly are your competitors in the market and then learn how are they different from each other. Then you can find how different can you be from your competitors, and because that's the place where you can definitely play on. The fourth important step in the lean product process is defining your MVP or minimum viable product. Well, to define MVP, it's a product with just basic functionalities required to just entice an early adopter to validate your product idea early on in the product development life cycle. Well, it serves as a great document for you to understand what exactly the customer thinks about your product before actually launching a fully functional product. Well, but after having said all of this, do you think just an MVP or a minimum viable product is enough to entice a customer to stay and hold on for a long period of time? I don't think so. Well, customers now feel a constant need for using tools that are faster and sophisticated because they want to improve their daily tasks. So it's more crucial for organizations to start building MVPs that are more awesome and lovable. So it's time for MVAP or MVLP. That is MV, minimum viable awesome product, or minimum viable lovable product. Well, again, the companies get to choose how different are they going to be with respect to their competitors. You can get to choose to play on the market, the way you deal with them, or sometimes even the customer experience as well. The fifth most important part in the lean product process is to build a prototype first. Well, to understand prototype in layman terms, prototype is just a model of the actual product. Don't get into coding before actually building a prototype, and getting it validated with the customers is the most important thing. So start off by building a model because the product is nothing just but an assumption of whatever you and your teammates have made over the period of time. All that you can do is implement all of those assumptions on the model, get it validated with your customers, make sure that they are happy, and you receive a lot of feedbacks about what they think about your product, and then actually get into coding. Well, Dan believes these 5 steps have traditionally helped companies to learn from their customers and achieve product market fit. Well, now that you are on your way to achieving product market fit, how do you actually know if you have achieved one? Well, I would like to quote Peter Drucker's quote here: "What gets measured gets managed." Well, there is no specific metric to say, okay, you have achieved product market fit. But there are some market favorites that we can use in order to give you that idea if you are on the winning side or not. One of the most important and market favorite metric is Net Promoter Score. Well, it's just a simple survey that you ask your customers as to how you performed. Just ask them to rate you on a scale of 1 to 10 and probably ask them questions like how likely they are to recommend your product to their friends. Well, one of the most important questions to ask is how would they feel in case your product is no longer available to them. Give them 4 options. First one, they will be completely disappointed or very disappointed. Second, somewhat disappointed. Third, not disappointed. And fourth, not applicable. Well, you just can plainly ignore the last 2 categories, the not applicable and not disappointed. They're not going to be your customers. But if 40% of your customers say that they will be very disappointed if they're not able to use your product, you definitely are on the winning side. One of the other metric that people generally use is customer lifetime value. Well, that's the average profit a customer makes in the entire lifetime with the product that they're using. So again, this is one of the common metrics, but this doesn't just define product market fit. Apart from this, the other metrics are like churn rates and the retention rates. But again, you know what's best to choose for your business. So you take that call. Now that we spoke so much about product market fit, one question that might linger your mind is the fact that how do you achieve product market fit when you don't have a product in the first place? Well, I would like to share a story of what we actually did at Ampliz to understand if we have achieved product market fit. Well, then I have listed out about 2 steps that we use here at Ampliz. The first one, forget MVP. Let's focus on MVC, minimum viable customers. Well, customers or audience play a very important role in the product development life cycle. Well, it is important to grow your audience who are actually experiencing all the pain points that your product is ready to answer. Well, if they are in that desperate position, give them or sell them your idea and not your product, because product market fit never is completely reliant on the product. It's reliant on the idea and the way you're going to showcase it to them. The second important thing is to start pitching to your potential customers. Let me tell you the story of how and what we actually did at Ampliz. Well, when we started building the Ampliz product, we never actually started with the product. We started with a prototype. We actually prepared a lot of mock-ups. And when we attended a lot of conferences and events, we made sure to show our mock-ups to the potential customers. We gathered a lot of feedback, and our product is built on the feedbacks that our customers gave us. So this is the best practice that we can follow in order to achieve product market fit. One question that might arise at this point for you is, how long does it take to achieve product market fit? Well, the answer is it depends. It depends on companies, it depends on the market, and most importantly, your idea. But one thing is safe to say, it all depends on the customer feedbacks. Make sure to collect as much as customer feedbacks as possible and include them in every aspect of product development lifecycle. After all, happy customers are the paying customers. If you like this video, do give it a big thumbs up and share it with your friends. And in case you have some suggestions, please put them in the comment section below. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.